Coach, I want to ask you a couple of Christian Wilkins questions. What do you remember about his recruitment from Suffield and how difficult it was to get a guy that far away to come to Clemson?
Well, we were just hopeful we could get him. At first, I had him, to be honest, never heard of Suffield Academy before. And so we saw his videos. Video was really good, so obviously we had reached out. And we talked to him for the first time in August. We're in fall camp. And he was sleeping mid-morning. Caught him on a wrong day because he's an early bird kind of guy. And we were speaking to him, and he says they're not in practice and they're not in school for another month or so. And so my first intuition was something's fishy here. This isn't a real school. And this would be a train wreck if we end up trying to recruit this guy and then something, he's got some illegal transcripts or something like that. And I'm like, you're not in school, we don't start for another month, and nothing seemed to add up. And so that being said, he ended up coming on an unofficial visit the following spring, and wasn't real talkative, so really didn't know where he was as far as engagement and genuine interest. And lo and behold, he said he loved it at that time. And but when I went in the spring to Coach Brooks and I went a couple times to go see him in the spring. Everybody in the at the school, just kind of like a small university, how it's set up, just went above and beyond on saying great things about Christian as a young man, and they all had their little stories about him, how he had impacted their lives in some way, or just wanted to share something about him. So whether it's the basketball coach, the track coach, the dean of students, the football coach, the secretaries, the people in the cafeteria, he was somebody, everyone had great things to say about him. And then he started opening up, and just being, who he is. And just he's the life of the party. He's got a ton of personality, just very upbeat, positive, well-spoken, sharp, articulate. He's got a lot to him. Very confident, but yet tremendous humility. And I said, this guy's too good to be true. He's a good, really good player. We have a very good locker room here and an excellent culture, but I thought this guy is one of those guys that has a unique ability to make everyone around him better, and would instantly improve our locker room. And so I immediately said, well, we're not going to get him. And it's because he comes from a huge family, and so many people up there were Christian Wilkins fans, so to speak, that I thought that the type of young man that he is, he would want to stay close and share that experience with them. And so I really felt like it would be a upper Northeast type of battle, whether he stayed home at Boston College or Penn State or Ohio State, something like that.
I heard that he interviewed, he kind of flipped it around on the coaches and interviewed y'all about Clemson and asked some tough questions about the school here instead of all the tough questions going from you to him, right?
Yeah, he did a great job really trying to make a good educated decision, as opposed to winning a press conference and making a popular choice. Or certainly if you polled his family, I think that most of them would say they really like Clemson, but I think everybody had their preferences and wished that he would have stayed up initially, chosen someone else, and thought that he would. But he did a great job of trying to find the best place for him. And when he looked at the totality of all of the things that Clemson had to offer, and he only was able to find that out by asking the right questions and asking the right people.
Coach, you had to deal with a lot of youth and injuries this season. Has it been one of the more challenging seasons?
I don't know. I mean, packaging things and calling a defense based on what you feel like can help a player, that part has been a little bit at times, trying to protect guys or help serve their strengths, but I haven't looked at it as challenging. Just another season that's just a little bit different than the last. You know, they're all different. So you kind of keep your head down, and as a coach, you don't really get here or here. You try not to. I do. I try to just stay, you know, very even-keeled in regards to, you know, preparing, you know, for the next opponent and doing it a certain way, and whoever's in there, you know, you have to be conscious, but there's no time to press the panic button or start to feel sorry for yourself or, you know, try to trick people. You know, this game still comes down to fundamentals and toughness, physical, mental, and again, trying to complement each other, you know, doing your part, you know, as a segment or as a unit, you know, in regards to, you know, playing well as a team.
Does it impact you emotionally, you know, the cycle of college football? You see the freshmen come in, but now you got to see the seniors go out. Does it make you tug at your heartstrings a little bit, or is it?
A little bit. You know, you always miss them more when they're not here. But, you know, you just have more of an, you know, when they are seniors, you have more of an appreciation for them. You probably coach the seniors a little bit different, as long as they deserve to be treated different from a maturity standpoint and accountability and commitment. Yeah, I mean, with each passing week is a week closer to them being gone. So, you know, there's part of you that's definitely sad to see that happen, but excited for them too, because knowing that they're prepared, you know, for what's in store for them.
When your depth is challenged at certain positions the way it has, how does that affect the way that you personally, you know, push guys or pull back on guys, or does that affect, you know, maybe you're more calm with a situation because a guy has not experienced something in a way?
Probably more so that, you know, so you got to treat each individual in each situation, you know, different. And when you got what you got, there's not a whole lot of other options. You want to make sure that you know, instill confidence, and you can trick a player every once in a while too. Now, you're not going to trick opponent necessarily, but you want to. Sometimes you can trick a player. You'll do that, convince them that maybe they're better or they're doing just fine, even if they're, you know, stubbing their toe or not having the kind of success that they would like. So I think there's always that. It's a very delicate balance, and based on who the individual or individuals are, I think you handle it, you know, accordingly.
Coach, what is getting a guy like Marcus Evans back do for you?
Well, I mean, I think it, you know, improves that group. You know, having a good leader out there, a playmaker, an able body. I think probably amps up the competition, so maybe brings out the best in other guys. Because let's face it, they all love playing time. So, but you hate it for Marcus, man. He's had such an impactful, incredible year a year ago, and we certainly wouldn't have been in the national championship without him. And to see him have the kind of struggles that he has this year off the field have been painful to watch, but happy that it looks like he's going to be able to contribute in some capacity and finish strong. Yeah, well, I love Dorian, love everything about him, his family, his mama, you know, how has grown and matured in our program. He's always been a great young man, but I think he'll be the first to admit his first couple of years he liked to play, but he didn't like to prepare to play other than the practice and the weight room. He did like those things, but just getting to understand, you know, his responsibilities and things of that nature. And we were able to find a spot, and ultimately he had to be the one that buys in and puts the work in, and I would credit really our former players, and there's been a bunch of them, but other young guys that have helped him, have brought him to the right place and showed him how to do it, and got him to buy in as much as anything. And but so proud of him. for the success that he's had, for the leadership that he has brought to the table and to this team, to the locker room, to our position group. And then what an incredible example he's been too, that, you know, maybe he doesn't come in polished and ready to go, but through some maturing and through some, you know, a real investment that isn't just going to happen in a week, the patience that comes along with that, you know, great things will happen for you if you just hang in there. And, you know, you have to have some talent too. And he certainly has that, but he's got an incredible spirit to him, and you know, he is a dog on that field, but man, he's got a tender heart, and he's a lot of fun to be around because he lets you coach him. He's a tough young guy, and he'll wear his emotions on his sleeve in regards to, he'll tell you if he doesn't like a scheme, or, you know, if he's not really good in that call, or it's kind of refreshing, and where some guys are, you know, they're too scared to say something like, you know, what are you going to do to them? And but they're intimidated. He's, you know, got, you know, the humility but the confidence that you need as a leader and as an older, mature player to you know, feel comfortable to ask those types of questions, or to, you know, he knows his opinion is valued, and but it gives you a lot of flexibility too, and hopefully he finishes like he has started. He's been an option killer, you know, as well as done many other things extremely well, but super proud of him, and just a great example of the hard work and the dedication that eventually pays off.
Throughout the words, trust the process.
Mm-hmm.
Find that as his career.
I mean, I would definitely think that that's